Hey y'all, it's Grandma Banana again, and I'm just here because I had the sense that I needed to share a little story with someone out there today. Are you going through a terrible time in your life? Are things looking very bleak and hopeless? Well, let me just share a little story that I think might brighten your day and give you some hope. Several years ago, we had the most wonderful dog. His name was Winston, and he was a beautiful golden retriever. Everybody loved Winston. Winston was friendly. Winston loved to fetch sticks like you wouldn't believe. Winston used to carry our kitty cats around in his mouth for hours at a time and just lick on them, and they would just lay on him and love on him. It was so precious. I would take Winston up to the nursing home to visit my mama, and we would go and visit several old folks there, and Winston just loved on them, and they were always so happy to see him. Well, one day, lo and behold, out of the blue, a neighbor's boy got a shotgun, and he shot Winston over the fence trying to kill him. We don't understand what he was thinking, but poor Winston, he took a terrible blow into his shoulder, and he had this big gaping wound. Well, he crawled himself under the little travel trailer, and I called to him, and he crawled out to me, and I was so scared. He was just bleeding to death. I got a dish rag and tied it around his shoulder as best I could to stop the bleeding, and we hightailed it to the nearest emergency vet clinic. Well, by the time we got into town, it was looking real bad, and the vet said, "We don't know if we can save him. He's lost so much blood, but we're going to have to take his shoulder and leg off. There's no hope." And so they went to work on Winston, and we went to praying, and we prayed, and we prayed, and lo and behold, Winston pulled through. Winston, our precious dog, pulled through, but now he only had 3 legs. He had his 2 back legs and his 1 front paw. And he would just, when he got to hopping around real good again, I took him up to the nursing home for the very first time to see my mama. Well, let me tell you what happened. We got into the nursing home, and there was this old gentleman in a wheelchair. Now, I knew this old gentleman, and he had been so sad. He had had both of his legs amputated because of diabetes, and it was real bad, and he'd lost all hope of living and felt like nobody understood what he was going through. Well, Winston hopped over to that old man, and he laid his head on his knee, and he just loved on that old man. Well, that old man just started to pet Winston and started to cry. And he said, "Oh boy, you're just like me. You're just like me, you poor fella. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. You poor fella, you're just like me." And he cried and petted on Winston for such a long time. Well, we walked back to see Mama for that day, and we went home. And you know what? The very next day when I went to go visit the nursing home, the nurses told me that that old gentleman had started smiling again and had started laughing again and had realized there was hope for him. If that old dog could still be useful, he could still be useful. He was so pleased. Well, let me tell you, old Winston, he got better and better, and you know, lo and behold, when he was fetching sticks, one time for fun, my husband Jack, he just threw a big old piece of cedar. It was almost a whole tree down the road just to see what Winston would do. Well, do you know what he did? He fetched that whole daggum tree. He just fetched that whole daggum tree. There wasn't anything going to stop Winston. Well, I want to tell you, no matter what you're going through, if you just let God turn it around and use it to His glory, He will use you in ways you can't understand right now. But I promise you, you just be like that old Winston who set that old man free just with his love and compassion. Because when you've been through something hard, you understand pain and you get compassion. Don't hide it. Share it with somebody today who needs you. You are one of a kind. You are precious to God. And I just love you. And I hope someday we'll meet in heaven. God bless you. That's all from Grandma Banana today. Jesus loves you, and so do I.